Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we try to head off some of the more salacious rumors about Marcus Brody 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete Mummert.
I get it. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Gerald Dolphin Kick Bolshevik Porter. That's what he did on Wednesday, right? Indy.
Yeah. Yep. And it's Friday today, but every day here is Valentine's Day with today's guest, the always scintillating and charming Lise Valentine.
Yay!
Welcome back, Lise.
Hello, thank you.
Yeah, it's always great to have you here. And today we're going to be talking about minute 35. And minute 35 begins with some... But today we're talking about minute 36. And minute 36... Let me start that over.
I love it. I love it. Hey, if you gotta keep in Scorsese.
All right, I'll keep it in. Or Tom will keep it in.
That's horrible. I don't want that in.
We'll drop in Michael Bay or something instead.
Yeah. Well, today we're talking about minute 36. And minute 36 begins with some literal communists chasing Mutt and Indy into an anti-communist rally. And it ends with Indy and Mutt passing a guy dressed up in an Indiana Jones costume.
Really?
It really does.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
This is what we'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there. But this is what I was referencing last minute when Jerry was talking about, is it an Indy chase scene without Indy dressed up as Indiana Jones? But there's another guy dressed up as Indiana Jones.
Well, this minute begins with like 3 or 4 thunderous orchestral bass drums, and I listened to it a couple of times. Pete, how do you like the music in Crystal Skull?
Oh, I love it. I think it's one of the strongest points of the movie.
I was going to say you're a big fan of the soundtracks, and you really like Last Crusade, and I know you're big. Obviously, everybody's a big fan of John Williams, but I noticed it's really interesting watching this minute, and it's like thunderous. You're like, wow,
is that a timpani?
Somebody. No, that's what's interesting. I'm listening, right? No, it's a bass drum, and you're like, that's like one of those 48-inch ones. It's just like, boo, dun, 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 boo, boo, and you're like, oh my god. if you listen, like if you listen to the minute, it's immediate. You're like, wow, yeah, that's no joke. So. I do like the music here. I think John Williams does a great job, as he always does.
We get some fun as Mutt and Indy drive through this anti-communist protest.
Now
there's some funny signs.
Oh yeah,
my favorite is "Fry the Spies."
I not the right attitude.
Seriously,
is that really the message we want to be getting here?
I feel like Indy that might hit a little close to home for Indy though.
Well, so this is I went through and tried to read as many placards as I could. There's "Have a Nice Doomsday," which is really good. "Beware of Communism," "Burn All Reds."
That one's creepy. Yeah,
that is creepy.
And then there's "Stop the Reds," and then "Fry the Spies." But I have a question. What the hell is going on here? Like, just so the like, what's the atmosphere on Marshall, at Marshall College? Because so Indy gets fired, and the dean, Dean Charlie resigns, and the FBI are like rifling through one of the esteemed professors, his office, and then we have like an anti-communist rally going on. What, like, is this somehow tied with Indiana Jones, firing?
Or is this why he wanted Mutt to punch Joe College? Because Joe College was out protesting the Reds and Indy's actually a Red.
He is. Look, he is going to Leipzig.
Yeah,
he's just not into the Red Scare. He's like
he led the Reds right to the treasure and then Area 51.
That's true.
Is this just a generic regular protest?
I think it is a generic
protest. Is the right word.
Okay.
Yes,
it does look very
It's like you went to protest land at Disney World or something.
Although someone made a really, really funny cutout of Khrushchev.
Yes, they did.
I just have to, as an aside, one of my favorite books I've ever read, if you get a chance, it's called K Blows Top by Peter Carlson. And it's all about, in 1959, it's like 2 years after the movie, but Nixon invites Khrushchev to the U.S. to show him that the United States is superior. And so for like 2 months, Khrushchev traveled all over the United States and he met like Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe and Shirley MacLaine. And he just went bananas. Like he just said all kinds of crazy stuff and had tirades and he was charming and funny. And it's absolutely hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. Great book. And a fascinating little piece of history, history.
So this has nothing to do with Indy's dismissal or like none of that got leaked or anything like that. They're like, oh yeah, you know what? Okay.
This is the era, the same way.
The general temperature of the country.
It's very, very interesting that they kind of pin Indy in here, like he's been accused by his own government of being a quisling. Spy, and a traitor. It's really interesting that they kind of, I don't know, they kind of squeeze him in there.
It's funny too that they're using the placards to bash the actual communists.
Yes, they get a couple good whacks at it.
I mean, that's a. I mean, even if this feels fakey and stuff, that's a nice use of the fakiness to actually, the protesting the commies and you're actually hitting commies with the signs that say down with the commies.
Do you think they know these guys in the car are commies, or are they just
anybody
that comes through here?
They're just mad somebody's driving through.
Yeah. I think there's yeah.
So Mark, can we talk about Marcus, or is it too soon?
I think we better.
That's
all I want to talk about in this minute.
Marcus, if you look at this statue, he's honored for being the dean of students for 5 years. Like, that's it?
Only during the war.
Yeah.
1939 to 1944.
Marcus was so much better than that. Why is that what he's... Yeah.
Well, here's what the placard says there under the statue is, in proud memory of Marcus Brody, Dean of Students, 1939 to 1944, with honor and loyalty. So
and the little circle, little circle in the middle says National Museum.
Oh,
yeah.
I am completely confused by all of this.
I'm confused by Marcus every second of the way post Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Me too.
It's a free for all with his character, and I'm just sick of it.
But he became dean of students in 1939. So what I'm wondering is what happened in 1938. He went on the Holy Grail expedition, and I wonder if he got fired from the university after looting some objects or playing kind of fast and loose with university funds.
Well, what, Barnett?
And so did he get... What's that?
You mean Barnett College?
Oh, yeah. Well, wherever he was the curator.
So wait, I don't see... Or was it like if you meet him in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I'm getting fuzzy now because as Tommy, you said, it's like a free for all.
They just bend over backwards to make all these really stupid changes just to, I guess, keep him in the movie for some reason or something. I don't know.
But wait. Is he, maybe Lise, you can help us here. Please, let's all put on our helmets and our gloves so we don't get injured.
By the way, before we get into this, Marcus is dead, and we're still having a Marcus watch. That's a problem. But go ahead.
But it's not. No, so Marcus is so well honored by Indy's dirty look in a second here. That to me was the whole thing of like, don't mess with Marcus. That's really crappy.
So in Raiders, and I think we kind of like, I always thought he was affiliated with Marshall College, but then it came up that no, he's like a curator,
museum
the
curator.
Head. He's the museum curator
of
or
the National
head
Museum
of the
apparently.
National Museum. He has nothing to do with the university, although maybe he's like, quote, a friend of the university or something like that. He's maybe on the board of regents or directors or something. Like
Maybe.
as
Well,
as a
I was wondering, does that make it
layperson, I don't
creepy
know.
when he's just hanging out there with Susie Cute Skirt in the hallway if he's not a university employee?
Well, he's there to see Indy. He
Yeah.
you know.
But he barges into Indy's office in Raiders.
Into his class.
Class, yeah. And I guess thought he was, I think back then I assumed he was like the president of the university.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that was right, but that's what I assumed.
I mean, if you're going by what they give you in the movie, you really don't know. I mean, you know that he is somehow connected with the museum because he's all like, "Oh, the museum gets it when we're finished and stuff." But yeah, they don't give you that much to go on. But if you're going to lowbot it and say, "Oh, I know from outside movie stuff that he's with the National Museum and he's not with the school," it gets even more confusing.
What is lowbotting?
A Lobot, like they never say, Lise, you notice that they never say Lobot's name in The Empire Strikes Back, Lando's aide, but you know that his name is Lobot because you have the action figures, you got the Starlog magazine.
Oh my God.
There's just stuff that like, it's not exactly expanded universe, but it's like extracurricular that you figure
it's
out.
Not a fever dream, you just get there.
And then it gets more twisted and sick in Last Crusade when they're at Barnet.
Yeah.
And we had that whole slugfest with all of us in tatters.
I know I already boycotted an episode. I just want to lay down. This is so like uselessly complicated.
Lay down what?
No, just like lay down and go to sleep.
Oh, you mean lie down?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just.
Oh, wow. There's an. He called you out. You're an editor.
We've got I'll tell you right now. I have never, ever, ever, ever. I've tried to master the difference between lay and lie and lane and lied and all of them. And I've given up a long time ago.
The only one I just say like
we've already got one or two conundrums with Marcus going on. We don't have to add.
I feel like
stir the pot.
I lie to get laid. That's the only thing I.
Thank you, Lise.
So back to Marcus, who never had to do that. Marcus, it strikes me as it's the same scene in Raiders with Marcus coming in, barging into the classroom as the admin in this movie, barging into the classroom, right? Those are supposed to be parallel scenes.
Yeah.
So do those gentlemen, are they supposed to have the same role or is this different?
No, this guy is clearly the dean of the school, like the flat out dean.
Well, in the statute, Marcus is the dean of students.
Are you talking about Dean? No, Dean Charlie is the dean of the school.
Right, Dean Charlie.
And he has to resign to save Indy's ass.
Right.
So that Indy can continue to collect his salary.
But then Marcus was apparently dean of students at some point between movies.
But this is so.
I want a statue for him.
If you look at this is 13 years prior. So did Marcus Brody die in 1944?
Probably. I don't think so.
or did he go to Ruckset College?
Did he have a pension? Did he get to retire?
What happened?
Or did he go on a big adventure?
Since he's only been there for 5 years, that's a 5-year span on the statue, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm for some reason I'm taking that as the year he died. Like that's why he had such a short time there. I don't know. The point is, honestly, there shouldn't this whole statue thing is just stupid. It's I don't know why they had a painting on the wall in the hallway at Marshall.
Though. Most people miss the painting.
Yeah, but that's how you should handle the Marcus thing. If you see that, it's a nice thing, and if you don't think about it. Like
I think a lot of people, I know you don't like this, and I know it's not the hip thing to like this, but a lot of people love this. Like it makes a lot of people happy. They're like, "Hey, I recognize that from one of the earlier movies. That's beautiful."
I'm glad,
and I know that enrages you, but I know a lot of people that
it doesn't enrage me. It's just well, first of all,
that sounds like rage to me, Tom.
It's like a simmering, seething rage, which is like a different kind of rage. I guess what's bothering me is it's not about Marcus the character at all. It is about Denham Elliott, which is great. I'd put up a statue to Denham Elliott. He's awesome. But I would not put up a statue to Denham Elliott just as a setup for a horrible, horrible, stupid joke that I don't get. That I don't get why the movie would do that to their nice thing about Denham Elliott. Now I'm angry.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that. Like a statue to Denham Elliott, sure, that makes sense. Or some, maybe the painting or something that does make sense. But a setup.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tom. Wait. Look, okay. Indy is just as mad as you are about this. I mean, that look he gives is so dirty. He's like, that was a stupid gag. Why did you have to do
that? He's not angry about the statue breaking. He's angry about the gag in the movie. Yeah. This movie's awesome.
I think that look is actually Indy has turned into his dad. Like Mutt's trying to get Indy's approval. And
true.
No, that's what it is. That's exactly out of Last Crusade. 100%.
It is.
What was that scene? Was it the motorcycle? I think it was
on the motorcycle.
Yeah, it was on the motorcycle. That's what it is.
Oh, Indy was excited that he had just murdered a guy on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And Henry just gives him a look.
Yeah.
But if the statue of Marcus, like the actual statue of him sitting there, with his arm sort of, resting, his left hand, and his other bizarrely enlarged hand on his knee. It does not look like Marcus, and it doesn't seem. I don't know if it's just, when
it does. The head, though, looks like him. The head in the Russian's lap does look like Denham Elliott.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say right now, that is totally nuts. I don't get that. When the head lands in the Russian's lap, I'm looking at it now. It's second 43. And you're like, so Marcus died of a left, nuclear glowing eye? What is wrong with his eye?
His one eye is really bizarre.
His one eye is really bizarre.
It's the glass from the windshield. It's the glass that got in it.
Yeah.
It does look weird, though.
It's a really strange pic. That's really weird. I don't like that. That doesn't look like... it sort of it just is weird.
It reminds me when Luke goes in the cave in Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
And cuts off Darth Vader's head.
Yeah, Marcus's head should explode, and there's
you know what's tough about this is it doesn't capture any of the Marcuses that we know and love, or that if you're somebody who loves Marcus from Raiders, you're like, that looks oddly stiff or something. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It's and then if you're used to.
I think it looks like him.
If you're used to the Marcus in Last Crusade and you like that Marcus, he should be like on a, he should be in mid slip on a banana peel.
Yeah.
With a really
hat, big beanie cap.
Yeah.
But maybe this head coming off is a pretty frequent occurrence, and they just replace the head with the next Dean. So next time it'll be Dean Charles, and they just have to replace the head and the dates.
Maybe.
Did come off easy.
Yeah.
It did. Makes me think that maybe they actually hated Marcus. The movie hated Marcus. Now they're just kicking him when he's dead. Aww. They're still making fun of him after his death.
It is kind of like that, yeah. But Indy doesn't appreciate it. That's good.
Yeah, no, I do. That saves it a little. Not saves it exactly, but it makes me feel better about it. Thank you, Lise.
Oh, a bit of a bad cut with the better dead than red sign too, but.
Yeah, did Mutt knock that sign over on purpose?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, because that's the sign that lands on.
Yeah.
But he knocks it over and then it's miraculously back up again on the car.
Yeah, it's weird how that. Yeah, it's kind of a weird.
Does shot. It looks like maybe he specifically skids into it, though.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not convinced of that, but
maybe not. Maybe that's just where he decides to turn.
Yeah.
And why does Mutt stop? Why do they stop to watch this happen? They're in the middle of a chase.
That's true.
Because they need to have that look.
They do.
Yeah, it's
I mean, that's the movie reason.
Yeah.
Which I guess is all you need.
Yeah.
I'm asking too much.
But then they hear an approaching car, they take off, and they race around a little bit. And right at the end of the minute, just as they turn left, Indy says, "Left, go left, left," into the library. On the left, there's a man wearing an Indiana Jones costume.
It's amazing. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I'm looking.
It's like second 59.
Is it like the walkway into those double doors?
Yeah, when they're going right as they're about to go up the stairs.
Oh, that's nuts. Oh my God.
That's really nuts.
Yeah.
It's exactly his costume.
Yeah.
Weird.
God, he's even got like a satchel, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's hilarious. The same shirt.
It was just like a sign up for like extras needed for an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah,
like, all right.
shows up
one guy showed up. I'll get the part.
I'm going to do this right.
No, they just pulled his stunt double off the other set.
Think how excited that guy is, though. He's seeing his hero like drive right past him.
Yeah.
I love you,
He actually looks like Jeremy in the Listener Crusade. Does some Indiana Jones cosplay. He looks like this guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
So, did you guys already talk about what this movie would be better named?
No.
Let's say we didn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's say you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I got us Indiana Jones and the Son of Indiana Jones. I would have preferred
Wow. Or just Son of Indiana Jones. Like if they're going full B movie. Yeah.
Son of a Jones.
Son of a Jones. Yeah.
I married an Indiana Jones.
I think
I was a
Spielberg
teenage
said
Indiana
he tried.
Jones.
He tried for Indiana Jones and the Son of Indiana Jones, and he got overruled or something. That would.
Indy J got married.
Well, so what's the deal? So Indy, are we spoiling it? There's no spoilers in this, is there?
No. Go ahead.
So he allegedly had this son. How old is Mutt? Is Mutt 20? Is he 19? Is he 18?
I don't know if any of us knows enough about this movie to answer that.
Oh, but that's fair. He's somewhere around there. Well, okay, so it's 19. All right, so it's 1957.
He's been to some fancy school, right?
That's where he learned to fence.
Right, exactly. Learned to fence at some fancy school. But was that like a high school prep school thing, or was it a college?
Yeah, I think it was high school prep school.
Well, so wait a minute. So if the shenanigans occurred on the Bantu Wind.
Oh no, they didn't.
We don't know that. I think we don't.
According to the Wikipedia, the Indiana Jonespedia, he was born in July of 1938.
Okay.
That would have been
wait
too
a
late
minute.
for the Bantu Wind.
Yeah, that would be.
That makes sense to me because you get the sense later on that they were together for a while before he took off.
Yeah, they were just about to get married.
She wouldn't be gestating in there already.
I don't know. There's a lot of Marys, kid.
That's right.
I'm just saying, I'm assuming it's the Bantu Wind the morning of. So you go, okay. So if that's 1936 and this is 1957, so he's like, he's 20.
He's not listening to you, Pete.
No, I'm not. I don't listen to the Wikipedia, whatever. That's
I don't either. But I don't feel like they were together longer after the Bantu Wind.
Yeah, like a week. A week.
Like they were planning to get married and stuff, weren't they? They were like, I forget how this.
Well, they came back to California when they meet the top men, and he's in City Hall.
Yeah.
So that could be a couple weeks.
Right.
Well, so he's in.
How long does it take a baby to come to term?
He's like,
wait a minute. Listen to this. I got to read this line from the Wikipedia. Marion eventually gave birth to a son without alerting Jones to the child's existence. She named the boy Henry Jones III, a name that would not stay for long and would not be revealed to the child until years later.
Oh, weird.
But if your name's Henry Jones III, it seems like if you're going to meet a professor named Henry Jones that your mom told you about.
Yeah.
You'd be like, huh. I wonder.
Yeah. Why is our last name Jones, Mom?
Why do we have the same first name? Why am I the third and my dad's name is Ox?
Yeah. If he was gone, why did she not take... He should have had her name. Should have been Ravenwood. Huh.
Well, you know what? Did you catch this, Lise? So Marion apparently now goes by Mary.
That's true. Yeah. That's really weird.
Thank you.
I've decided that's she was married to a guy who died, who Mutt thought was his dad before Oxley. Oxley was just a pal.
No, yeah, Colin Williams, the RAF pilot, is the guy he thought was his dad.
So that's why his last name is Williams.
Sure.
And I'm assuming that Mr. Williams just called her Mary. That was just his name for her, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, Mutt's name is Williams?
Yeah, Mutt Williams.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Lise, what do you think we should be paying attention to as we go forward with Crystal Skull?
Yeah, you just watch this movie kind of freshly, so let's
what should we be?
What do you need us to tackle?
Yeah, what watches should we put on our Doppler screen here?
Yeah, I think it's all about the father-son relationship thing and the reveal on that, and the Marion reveal. Yeah, I mean, that's the theme. I mean, that plus the ridiculous, stupid stuff they talk about, Pancho Villa teaching Quechua, like all this offensive stuff they get wrong. They could do a countdown of those, I guess. Like, how many other cultural things are we going to totally slaughter in this movie and not have done our research
like a
on?
lot of work.
Because we couldn't afford the research? Like, what the hell, you guys? They totally were slacking on this thing. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Pete knows.
So I guess that would be a more important watch of all the things they get wrong.
What do you like most about Crystal Skull? That's a trick question.
No, grab the rope. That's it. That's it. That's my favorite. That's the funniest. Yeah, I told Tommy I had to come to terms with the fact this was a B movie. They were trying to make a B movie, and that's what you should treat it as, because it's just lousy otherwise. It sounds mean when I say it, but yeah, it just doesn't really hang together, and it's all kind of silly and just makes me miss Raiders.
Oh, everything makes me miss Raiders.
Yeah.
You're speaking Tom's language.
Oh. It's not only that, it's his dialect.
I'm bilingual.
Well, speaking of dialects there, old Jer.
Yes, someone who speaks. This just in from Professor Christy Porter. Pete!
Uh-oh.
How would this scene play out? How would this scene play out at your alma mater, Indiana University?
Oh,
I was amazed at how much this looks like Indiana University.
Me too.
And I was wondering, was there just like generic college like blueprint?
Yeah. No, I agree.
This looks exactly like IU.
This looks like exactly like IU.
Yeah.
You know, and
have we said that this is Yale? This is actually Yale. They're in New Haven.
That's what they said. I don't know Yale well enough to.
Yeah, I don't know Yale either.
I mean, I barely do either, but that's what they tell me.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
and that's the Yale library that we see coming up.
So even Yale uses the cookie cutter, fancy school blocks.
Yale
I think one of those originators.
Indiana University.
Yeah, they copied it. Well, Tommy, how about you? How would this play out at Emerson in Boston?
Well, I want to say at Indiana, they'd all be on just bikes, just 10 speed.
Oh, yeah. It really would
right.
be. It'd be like the cutters and
the little 5 and the breaking away.
Yeah.
I love that you love that movie.
And at Emerson, they would all just be killed almost immediately, just from the traffic. In Boston, they would just be slaughtered.
That's a good point. And Lise, you're at McGill.
At McGill, they would have been on a hill. They would have had a hard time with all this turning and weaving.
Oh,
wow.
How would this have played out at William and Mary? Or would it have been like they would have been on a horse and buggy and...
Yeah, they would have had the muskets.
Stopped and dipped a candle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there you go.
Well, thank you, Lise. This is always a ton of fun when you join us. So thank you for being with us all week.
It was a hoot. I loved it.
Is there anything you'd like to share with people as you leave, or any place you'd like to send people, or any kind last words you'd like to give people?
I would like to send you. I always think I want to send people to the Pantheon, but I really mean Patreon. I don't know why I always think of it.
Oh, the Pantheon's lovely. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, go to Rome, everybody.
No, just go to your happy place and enjoy the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Aww. Yeah, that's beautiful. And I couldn't have said that any better. So please, everybody, go to your happy place and then come back here Monday for hopefully another happy place for minute 37 of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
A moment of silence for Marcus again.